All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And as you can see in the title, 99% of people are not prepared to go through this. And really, I should say 100%. Okay, I originally put a 99%, excluding the elect, but really I should say 100% because truth be told, with the transition, right, the nosedive that the world is about to go into, even the elect are not prepared, all right, to go through it, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, the elect are gonna make it through anyway. And the reason I say that is because even though we are mentally expecting this level of chaos to come, we still are not used to living like that. And so even for us, Lord willing, we're of that elect, having been mentally prepared, it's still going to be a shocking change. That's why we're going to need the spirit of the Lord to keep us grounded. So without further ado, I'm going to go into what I'm talking about here. And basically, as I read this article, as you see before you, you'll hear the harsh reality. Okay, damn, maybe I should use this as a thumbnail. A bit of nice one. But the harsh reality of what they mean here by a real recession. Okay, not whatever it is that they're telling you on the media, on the news, about a mild recession or a slight loss of jobs, and no, and and it's not necessarily just the act of or the situation of a recession that is going to be so chaotic, but in fact it is a recession plus the reaction of the people. You have a recession that's coming in like a wrecking ball. It's coming in hot, and you have the people that are used to and conditioned to live a easy carefree life, to the extent that they don't even have people don't even necessarily go out to the store anymore. They just order things, and it literally, when I say literally, I mean literally, it gets brought right to their door, like right outside. All you gotta do is open your door, and your delivery is right out there. Grocery shopping, food, clothes, whatever it is. I mean, everything is literally like spoon fed to people here, to the point of their very feelings, their opinions. I mean, everything. So we're dealing here with a conditioned people that have everything spoon fed to them, and then you're gonna get this harsh reality of hard times. As the saying is, I believe it goes, good times make weak men make hard times make strong men make good times, something along those lines, right? That cycle. And guess what? Right now, we have a whole lot of weak people, and hard times are coming. So let's get into this real quick. This is the book of, and as we the book of as I read through this, and you see, as they give you the real facts about this, what a real recession is like, then you'll start to see, at least I started to see, why the apostle or the prophet Ezra said, woe is me, who's going to deliver me in those days? Because you can only imagine what he actually saw. Though he described it to the best of his ability, you can only imagine how bad it actually is. So it says here, as I noted last week, our collective response. I just jumped to the more concerning part of the article, the interesting part here. So as I noted last week, our collective response is now limited to either one, complacency slash denial, or two, panic. And panic is coming. Panic is coming. No matter what they try to do, panic is coming. We're still anchored in complacency and denial, but the phase shift to panic is just around the next corner. In a real recession, right? Growth doesn't dip slightly for a few months, it drops for years. In a real recession, employment doesn't dip for a quarter or two, it plummets hard and keeps dropping quarter after quarter. In a real recession, borrowing doesn't dip for a quarter, it goes downhill for years. In a real recession, spending and consumption don't dip for a few months. They fall off a cliff and then stumble further down the raven. Now, what does this mean? A quarter in the, the financial aspect or financial world is roughly about, I'd say, three months or so, right? So you have like Q1, the first quarter, which is from January 1st to about March, the ending of March. And then you have Q2, which is from April to, I believe it's June, end of June. And then you have July to September, and then September to December. So you have the 4 quarters in the year. Now, what he's saying here is in a real recession, when you have unemployment, right? Employment doesn't dip for a quarter or two. It's not like a 6 month series of like people losing their jobs, and no. All right, this is that it plummets hard. So tons of people start losing their jobs. And as we keep on reading, you'll start to see how much it keeps on going, right? As he mentions, borrowing doesn't dip for a quarter, it goes downhill for years. Meaning, in a recession, it's hard to borrow money, right? When in an environment with low interest rates, people borrow money because it's easy to borrow money, and it's also beneficial for the lender because they're making more money because they're lending out more money. Okay, but in this case, that all goes out the window. Let's keep on reading. It says, in a real recession, the Fed's tricks no longer work. Fiscal stimulus is limited by the over borrowing of the previous decades or of inorganic quote unquote growth. In a real recession, the dominoes fall, regardless of what policy tweaks are rushed into place. And this is where the panic and the chaos starts to set in because, like, you have a month or two ago, you had the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, right? You had the whole turmoil with Credit Suisse, the whole situation with First Republic Bank. But with all these, the government and the Fed, they just ran up in there and made it seem as though, oh, see, we handled it. Don't worry about it. The banking sector is good. The thing about a real recession is when the dominoes start falling, it doesn't matter what they do. They can have emergency meetings 24 hours a day for 2 weeks. It's not going to change anything. It's just going to keep on dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. Okay, they can say we're implementing this. We're going to print $3 trillion just to it's not going to stop anything. Okay, and people are going to be like, and it's going to drop fast. So it says here, and when he says the dominoes fall, he means pretty much anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and it's going to go wrong one after the other after the other after the other. So while you're losing hair, trying to fix one problem as if baldness was a solution to problems, but while you're doing that, trying to fix one problem, another one arises, then another one arises, and each worse than the first, until you have a complete systemic collapse in your hand. So it says here, this is what happens when you let the dead wood and risk pile up. Eventually, you can no longer suppress the conflagration. In a real recession, what seemed safe and rock solid melts into air. And that's where you have your Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, right? It tells you how they're going to say that they wearied themselves, in the path of pretty much like everything that they, matter of fact, let me just pull it up. Take a look at that real quick. Wisdom of Solomon. See, what the world is going to find out is that we're not fear mongers. Like we're not here to sell you fear. You whether you want to buy it or not, this is what's coming. We're just giving you the heads up, warning you. All right, now let's see. There we go. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 7. Share this. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Lord, we have not known it. What hath pride profited us? Or what hath riches with our vaunting brought us? All those things are passed away like a shadow, and as a post that hasteth by, and as a ship that passeth over the waves of the water, which when it is gone by, the trace thereof cannot be found, neither the pathway of the Nile in the waves. Meaning, what the collapse, right? The pretty much people are gonna be in that state where everything that they worked for, that they put together, that they made in this society is gonna collapse and be gone just like that. It's gonna whisk right out of their hands, and there's gonna be no trace of it left. And that's when the realization is gonna set in, because you're gonna realize that you put in actual hard work for literally temporary, temporary, gains, because it's gone. It reminds me of this video. There was a video of a raccoon that put it, when I forgot what he did, but maybe he went through whatever he went through to get this cotton candy. He worked his ass off and got the cotton candy, and he I guess he didn't understand the nature of how cotton candy works. So he thought he was gonna wash it off in this little puddle, this little pile of water, and then and then he would be good to go and utilize it how he wanted to. But when he put it in the water, it dissolved, and that's it. It disappeared, and just like that, this nice big puff of cotton candy he had was just gone, just like that, and he was stressed, pissed off. Okay, but that's what's getting ready to happen to these people. And that reaction, it's going to be like a chemical reaction. It's going to be like what you expect to see when you see a small fire, right? Maybe somebody is smoking a cigarette, drops it, and the cigarette at a gas station, which starts to ignite something very little, and then somebody goes and starts pouring gasoline on it. That explosion, okay, with the oil and all of that, the gas and that explosion that's going to erupt, that is sort of like what you can get ready to see as we're facing what's about to come to this place. Because once again, it's going to be a mix of the condition, right, the hellish condition, plus the people's reactions to it. Because it's going to be the hellish conditions that are going to lead to that Second Ezra's 15th chapter, how people are going to be taking matters into their own hands, right? Breaking into houses, breaking into stores because they're desperate. But how they're reacting to this is creating chaos, violence, crime, murder, rape, cannibalism, death. I mean, all the things you could go down the list and name them, because it's going to get bad, and a lot of people are not ready for that. And these conditions are going to, they're going to make people do things that they didn't even think that they could do, because of desperation in hard times. So carrying on, it says here, in a real recession, what seemed safe and rock solid melts into air. And that's when Isaiah 33, let me come back here, Isaiah 33 and 6 is going to be so prevalent, right? Because wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of our times, because the wisdom and knowledge, the faith, the gift of the Lord, that's permanent. That'll still be with us, right? While everything else goes, that'll still be with us. But these people don't have that. So literally, they're going to lose everything. You're going to have people committing suicide. They did it during the last recession, or the Great Depression, as they called it. And that wasn't even as bad, half as bad as this one is going to be. So that's why 99% of people are not ready to go through this. They're not. Really, I shouldn't have said 99% of Americans, but this desperation and hell that's coming is not going to be just for Americans. It's going to happen around the world. However, this place, the Lord, there's a big red X on this place. So carrying on, it says jobs, income, tax revenues, and much else that SRE seen, um, or really it could be, I think maybe that should have said R, right? Much else that are seen as utterly dependable will evaporate. Just like that raccoon's cotton candy, poof, is gonna be gone. Your job, gone, your income, gone, your tax revenues, gone. Anything that your 401k, gone. Anything you thought was was reliable that you can go to, you're gone. Okay. One week your boss is telling you how much they love your work, and the next week you're cashiered or the whole business is shuttered. Assets that quote unquote never go down don't just go down, they fall in half, and so on. So pretty much what they're saying here is everything that can go wrong will go wrong, but it's gonna go wrong on such a high level that it's not even gonna be funny anymore. Like it's not what they try to tell you it is. Oh, you're gonna have some job losses, and no, 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 no. It's not gonna be some, like it's a small number. It's not gonna be it's gonna be for a little while, and then it'll get no, no. That little while is gonna be very painful, and that's why the scriptures say what they say, and that's why Ezra said, right, coming back to Second Ezra 16 and 17, woe is me, woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days? In what days? In these days. So let's do a comparison, right? You have Ezra, who received visions of our time period that we're living in now. All right, maybe just a little bit ahead, where he saw the actual calamities and the chaos and all of these things. And this was his reaction, right? This is his reaction. Now compare his reaction to the average mindset of the people today, and this like polar opposites. A lot of people are walking around with a carefree mindset, and yet when you look at the mindset that Ezra was in, he was panicked, he was spooked, he was afraid. Woe is me. There's a whole exclamation mark right there, twice too. So he wasn't joking around. So what did he see that made him say something like this? And verse 18, what did he say after that? He said, the beginning of sorrows. And did Yahushua not say that in Matthew 24? So matter of fact, let's do something here. Let's look up the word sorrows. Sorrows, no George. If you know, you know. It says a feeling of deep distress caused by loss, disappointment, or other misfortune suffered by oneself or others. And the key word here is a deep distress, not a light one, not a surface level one, but a deep distress that's going to be caused by loss of loved ones, loss of property, loss of hard work, all of it. Okay, all of it. Hey, there's another one here. It says sorrow is an emotion, feeling, or sentiment. Sorrow is more intense than sadness. So this isn't, oh, you're sad because, no, this is sorrow along with fear, along with pain. I mean, and this is the beginning of it. This is why Ezra said, woe is me, woe is me. Because then even 2,500 years ago, he was afraid of what condition he would be in 2,500 years or so in the future. It says maybe that's why he was asking all those questions to the angels, saying, "Look, can you just like speed it up? Just have everything happen now. Oh, I don't need for us to go through all that." All right, but as it says here, the beginning of sorrows, great mournings, sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. So what was he seeing? What was Ezra seeing for him to say this? And you turn around today and you're thinking, I could go to the supermarket and there's food in there. You go to BJ's, there's so much food in there. Damn. God damn. This, I mean, there's food around. People are eating. That's why they're so big. big backs and shit. That's what you call them. We call them big back. Till they go to HR on your ass. But the point is, these things are here, right? People are not. I mean, people are wild nowadays, but they're not to the point where they just straight committed murder and breaking into people's houses. Like, but that yet Ezra is talking about. He's, I mean, fearfully and very adamantly talking about famine and great death, not just death, great death. See, you got to understand when you put these words before these other words, they're to add emphasis. Somebody hits you, yo, that hurt. Somebody hits you, damn, yo, oh my God, that really hurt. That's where that's why you have the use of these key words. Really hurt is to emphasize the pain. The pain was intolerable. That was very painful. These are all to emphasize. So when Ezra says great death, he means death in greatness. He means death in large numbers. He means death in brutal ways. The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, exclamation mark, evils, bad times. What shall I do when these evils shall come? So Ezra was actually scared when he saw this. He wasn't playing around. He said, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. He's like, damn, the Lord is not playing. Even Habakkuk said, Lord, were you angry at the trees? For when he saw the wrath of the Lord, so you had a lot of prophets that got these visions, and they were, man, I'm sure they didn't want to live to this generation. But here we are. Here we are. Ezra was scared over 2,000 years ago. He was scared about something that was going to happen. He didn't know that it would be 2,000 some more years in the future. To him, it was just in the future. It was a vision he saw. But he was this afraid of it. And here we are at, I mean, pretty much ground zero, about to walk straight up into this, stare Jacob Struggle dead in the face, and people think it's his time to play games. Chill around like it's all sweet out here. You're going to find out real soon that it's not all sweet out here. And you better hope that you're part of that 1% that the Lord, or 144,000 and the rest of the elect. But according to the title of the video I put, you better hope that you're part of that 1% that the Lord has mercy on. Because boy, oh boy. So here you see a bunch of dominoes here. The first one is new normal, capital and trade flows disrupted. Then that crashes into high cost small businesses fold. Money velocity collapses as savings soar. Then that goes into zombie corporations rush to borrow billions, but this only delays their insolvency. Then that goes and hits service sector dependent on the top 5 household spending implodes. Tech managerial class layoffs surprise protected class. Then that goes into state and local taxes plummet. Federal bailouts run out. Local government employment shattered or slashed. Then that goes into defaults and bankruptcies explode higher, triggering catastrophic losses in banking and derivatives. And safe, right? What is considered safe sectors are crushed. Tech, healthcare, higher education, finance, no safe havens left. So at this point, I mean, those jobs that come before, the ones that are not considered necessities, right? They're already gone. They're completely gone. But it's gonna get so bad that even those fields that are considered safe, because there's always people hiring, they're always in need. The tech fields, the healthcare, the education, the finance, gone. There's gonna be nowhere left to hide. There's not gonna be one pocket of a location you can go to, or a job you can have that you're secure. You don't have to worry about no. I mean, that is what a real recession is gonna bring. So everybody's gonna be forced to get desperate. And that's when you're going to see those actions that Ezra saw that made him say what he said. The solution for households and small enterprise is to change course now and seek to reduce risk and exposure to conflagration. Really, the solution is to repent and seek Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai while he may be found, because the time is short, man. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 1. It says the time of the end. And this truly is the time of the end. After this, that's it. There's not going to be another time like this. So, I mean, it's going to be one hell of a time. And at that time shall Michael stand up, Daniel 12 and 1, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, as we're talking about, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. Meaning, since nations were placed on the earth, there's going to be no time since creation that can be compared to this time that we're in terms of calamity, in terms of just things that are just going to be happening. It says, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book, and that's the elect. And they're going to be delivered because there's going to be a cause for deliverance. It's going to be so bad out here that we're going to need to be delivered. Nobody's going to deliver themselves. So these are the times that we're coming into, and these articles and these news clips, they're all indicators, warning signs pointing towards, when you're driving somewhere, you see those signs, you see like the green sign, it'll say like welcome to New York, or it'll say like, lower level this way, upper level, those signs, that's what these articles, these videos, these clips are letting you know, hey, look, you're like 5 miles away from this, you're like 3 miles away from this, you're getting ready to see this. So that's the point where we're at. So it's time for you to really get, buckled up. Don't get ready, stay ready, because this thing could go down, at any time. So with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.